All right, let's talk AI video. There are so many tools out there and it's easy to get lost. So today, we're going to give you a super simple framework for picking the right model. This is going to save you time, credits, and a ton of frustration.
Let's kick things off with something super important. Most people think the biggest waste of credits comes from writing complicated prompts. But actually, the real problem is picking the wrong tool for the job before you even start writing.
Yeah, if you're feeling totally overwhelmed by all the choices, you are definitely not alone. The sources are actually calling this subscription fatigue, and it's a huge problem for creators who are trying to juggle multiple tools, each with its own costs and credit system.
And just to put that into perspective, platforms like Cliprise, they now offer access to over 47 different AI models all in one place. I mean, that's amazing, right? But it also leads to that classic decision paralysis. So where do you even begin? Okay, the very first step to getting some clarity here is to realize that all these tools, they basically fall into two main categories. Think of them as two different toolboxes, and just knowing which toolbox you need, that's seriously half the battle. So in one toolbox, you've got your generators. These are the models that create something brand new, completely from scratch, just from your text or an image. In the other toolbox, you've got repurposes, like Opus Clip or Munch. They take long videos you already have and cleverly chop them up into highlights. So the most important question to ask yourself right at the beginning is, am I creating something new or am I just clipping something I've already made?
Now, while those repurposing tools are super useful, let's be honest, the biggest headache for most of us is in that first toolbox, generation. So for the rest of this explainer, we're going to focus right there. Once you know you need to create something from scratch, how on earth do you choose between the big ones like Veo, Sora, Kling, or Flux?
Look, we can actually boil this whole big decision down to just three simple things. That's it. How fast do you need it? What's the visual style you're going for? And how much control do you really need over the action and the camera?
Okay, this is where things get really interesting because it's all about specialization. If your project is all about high-stakes visual storytelling and you need those specific camera moves, the smooth pans, the dramatic dollies, that slow push-in for emotional impact, then you're going to want to reach for Sora or Google's Veo. They are literally built for that kind of cinematic narrative control. But hey, what if speed is your #1 priority? Maybe you need a really high-quality video, like fast, especially if it involves realistic human movement or tricky physics, like flowing fabric. Well, in that case, Kling is almost always going to be your best bet. It's just engineered for speed and realism right out of the gate.
Okay, but here it is. This is the pro tip that's going to save you the most time and money, I promise. Before you even think about touching a video model, you should first lock down your visual style using a powerful image model. This is where tools like Flux and Midjourney are absolute game changers. You can perfect the entire look and feel before you commit to a super expensive animation.
So what happens if you pick the wrong tool? Well, it's not just a small mistake. It directly leads to wasted time and, you guessed it, wasted credits. Let's look at a couple of real-world scenarios to see what I mean.
Yeah, when there's a mismatch between your goal and the tool you're using, you just end up generating the same idea over and over and over, burning through credits each time. For example, say you need a simple product shot for an ad. If you use a big storytelling model like Sora, you might get something that's way too cinematic, and you'll have to re-roll it a bunch of times just to simplify it. On the flip side, if you're trying to create an emotional scene and you use a speed-focused model like Kling, yeah, it'll be fast, but you might not get that precise camera control that actually tells the story.
And this all leads to a really critical question every single creator needs to be asking. It's not about what one generation costs, it's about what that final, perfect, usable clip really costs.
The sources have a name for this. They call it the iteration factor. And the research shows that it takes, on average, 3 to 5 different generations just to get one single perfect asset that you can actually use. Every one of those rerolls costs you. That's the real hidden expense of making AI video.
So, how do you beat this iteration factor? How do you stop the bleeding? Well, you use a smarter, more efficient system. The solution is what we call the image-first workflow, and it's designed to save you both time and money by making the most important creative decisions up front. The logic here is so simple but so powerful. Step 1, you concept your idea with an image model first. Use Flux or Midjourney to create that one perfect still frame. Step 2, you iterate on the style. You make all your visual changes on that image, which is super cheap and fast.
And then, only then, step 3, you animate the final image. Once everything is approved and perfect, then you use Sora or Kling to bring it to life.
Look, if you're just getting started and you want just one rule to follow, make it this one. Seriously, the image-first workflow is your safest, most cost-effective way to get amazing results without wanting to pull your hair out from all the endless rerolls.
Okay, so let's just recap the 3 key takeaways that will completely change your AI video workflow. First, choose your toolbox. Are you generating or repurposing? Second, match the model to the job. Cinematic storytelling goes to Sora or Veo, speed goes to Kling, and style testing starts with Flux. And finally, and this is the big one, always use the image-first workflow to slash the amount of credits you waste.
You know, the best way to really get this is to just experience it for yourself. So here's your final takeaway. Go try it. Take the exact same prompt and run it through 2 different models. This one simple test will make their different strengths so obvious, and it'll instantly make you a smarter, more efficient AI creator.